Hello, everyone, and welcome to our webinar that is all about the Banff Canada training, April 23rd through May 3rd next year. And I know you're going to be excited to hear about all the details for it and just hear from some people that we have on the webinar all about how wonderful and amazing it is. And I'm sure that you will be excited to just know more about it. So my name is Dr. Patricia Crane. I studied personally with Louise, and long story, it evolved into a training program. I'll tell you a little more about that in a bit. And I want to interview our panelists today. And first of all is Victoria Johnson, who is our amazing teacher trainer in Canada. She gets rave reviews for the program. She's been with us since 2012, first as the workshop leader and then as coach. And because of her commitment to the program, now she has been teacher trainer for several years there. So welcome, Victoria. I'm so happy to have you here. And again, you have such an amazing way of training with people that they just leave so inspired and really with all the materials they need for the program and for leading workshops and coaching afterwards. We also have with us Amy Garcia Baker. And Amy is a Heal Your Life workshop leader and coach, and she has worked with hundreds of people and knows that when they really learn to love themselves, they can carry their mission forward. And she just finished assisting Victoria at the training in Banff that was just a week or so ago. And so we're happy to have you here with us to share about all of that. And then also with us is Christy Dixon. And Christy is our fabulous admin. I always like to say she keeps me sane. She is not only our chief admin, she's also a Heal Your Life workshop leader and coach. And people absolutely just adore her because of her compassion and always willingness to help. So welcome, Christy. Now, we like to start out with a reading from Louise's book. And I want to show you, okay, this is my first book with Louise. You wouldn't even recognize her from the picture on here, but it is held together with a rubber band. And of course, I have several more copies, thankfully now, but I am going to do a short reading from her book. And what I'll invite you to do is just take a nice deep breath if you want to, and you can do so safely wherever you are. Just close your eyes and just allow your body to relax. In the infinity of life where I am, all is perfect, whole, and complete. I support myself, and life supports me. I see evidence of the law working all around me and in every area of my life. I reinforce that which I learn in joyous ways. My day begins with gratitude and joy. I look forward with enthusiasm to the adventures of the day, knowing that in my life all is good. I love who I am and all that I do. I am the living, loving, joyous expression of life. All is well in my world, and so it is. So it is. Just take a nice breath again, open your eyes, and as you listen to those words, doesn't it just feel like you can relax, and just the warmth of how Louise expresses herself and about life and how we can trust life? So important. And of course, the foundation is loving yourself. So I just want to give you a little bit of background about how the workshop leader training came about initially. And it was because after Louise wrote You Can Heal Your Life, she also had a 2-day workshop, Love Yourself, Heal Your Life. And when she was on the Oprah Winfrey Show the first time, Hay House got so busy, the phones were ringing off the hook. They were so busy. Louise called myself and 2 others that had been working with her on the intensive. She had been doing week-long intensives for about 5 years at that point. And I had been just a participant the first 2, and then she asked me to be on staff for the next 5. And she called myself and a few others who'd been working with her and said, you know, I'm too busy. I can't lead the 2-day workshop anymore, but would you like to do it? What do you think we said? Yes, that sounds so exciting. And so Hay House sent us to a number of different places. And one of the places I ended up going was the United Kingdom, in England, in London, near London. And what happened was that people were so excited about the 2-day workshop and how deep they got with it that they came to me and said, could you ask Louise for a training program? Well, so I came back to the US and I called Louise on the phone and I said, Louise, people want a training program. And she thought about it for, I think, about a nanosecond. And she said, okay, let's do it. And she asked me to come down to her place in the weekend and just sit together and develop the program. So that's what we did. And that started in 1995. And here we are going into 2024, which is just amazing. We also have added the coach training because that became such a popular aspect for people. And Victoria is going to tell you a lot more about that because she does the combination of workshop leader and coaching. So you leave with both certifications, which is really pretty amazing. So I'm going to stop right there and just go to Victoria and say, Victoria, tell us a little bit more about your background with Louise and just how everything evolved for you into being trainer.
Sure, I'm happy to do so. And thank you for that great reading. It was just exactly what I needed. Isn't it funny how we can just find these resources throughout the day? Everything that we need can be available to us. I absolutely love my work with Heal Your Life, with Louise Hay's work, and as the trainer, workshop teacher, and coach myself. And Patricia asks me quite often on these calls, tell me about how Louise's work affected your life. And I often go back to the story of just really finding my home, that I really felt like this was philosophies that resonated with me. But today I thought I would talk a little bit about that mind-body connection and how wonderful it is that we have the resources through Louise's work that we can take a look at perhaps ailments or physical issues that we're having, sometimes psychological issues that we're having, and going back and looking for the probable cause and becoming our own healthcare advocate using mind-body connection for healing. And it's been such a beautiful part for me. It's helped me, really take back things that I had given to other people, to other medical professionals. And, don't get me wrong, I love having a healthcare team, but I love that we can really heal our lives.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you. And I just want to say too, before going on to talking to Christy and Amy about their experiences with Louise's work, etc., and that is that we do get the question about having this training in person. And, during COVID, we shut down. We had to make a real decision about what to do because Louise's process was in person primarily for, the real depth work that we do. And we made the decision that we really needed to keep the training in person. However, what we did do is we adapted a lot of the workshops that you get as a part of the training to be online. And so you have the option. You can do the 2-day workshop in person, you can do workshops online, and you certainly can have a worldwide audience with everything that we do on Zoom and Facebook, Instagram, all those wonderful, resources that we have these days. And I can tell you that every single person that has come to the training in person since the COVID, has said, absolutely, this needed to be in person. Because they're amazed. People who've even worked with Louise's work for 15 years, 20 years even, will say, my goodness, I was amazed at how much more I uncovered, how much more I released. So we really want you to feel confident that, coming to the training in person is really absolutely vital because it ultimately gives you so much more within yourself to be able to share with other people. So that's our experience, and that's exactly why we've kept it in person for the training. Okay, so I'm going to go on now to Christy, and if you would talk about, just how you came to Louise's work and your training experience, because you trained with Victoria.
I did train with Victoria, which was awesome. So what I will say is that Louise really, like coming to Louise's work, I came in as administrative staff, and that's how I was introduced to her. And I had been doing stuff in the mind-body connection before that. But Louise's work, where it really changed my life, and then it changed everything, was in my relationships. It really helped me to understand my relationships better and to have healthier relationships. I work a lot on boundaries within those relationships, and it's something I'm probably always going to work on. But she has her ability to teach us about ourselves and how to heal ourselves really allowed me to heal a lot of my relationships and resentments I didn't even know I had built up so that I was a healthier communicator. And I'm really, really grateful for that. And it's changed my life in so many good ways.
Mm.
And then I was lucky enough, I have been lucky enough to attend many, many trainings. But for all but one of them, I've been on the support staff. And so for Victoria's training, I went in 2018 and I got to be just simply a participant. And it was fantastic. Victoria does such a good job of taking care of her participants, of being there for her participants. It's such a warm and welcoming space, and you can feel the joy that Victoria and her assistants have in getting to lead you, you know, through your journey being there, getting to lead you in becoming a teacher yourself, and holding your hand when you do leave the training. And that was one of Victoria, was that your first one? Did I go to your first one or
Maybe
was it
my
your second?
second.
Your second.
Mhm.
And I know, being again on the administrative side of things, that even since then, she has grown tremendously in what she offers to her participants and how she is there to support you. You could not do better in taking this training from Victoria.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Christy. And I do want to say that, what happens at these trainings is there's a container of unconditional love. And
Mhm.
that's what Louise used to create when she was doing her 2-day workshops and the intensives that she did. And that tradition carries on with us, that it's just a container of unconditional love, which most people haven't ever experienced before. So it is quite, quite amazing. All
Mhm.
right, Amy, so tell us about how you found Louise's work and your experience afterwards and then at the training.
Yeah, so I'll share kind of what I shared at the training, how I feel like almost Louise found me at a time when in 2012, which is interesting, that's when Victoria started teaching. But I my dad was sick with an illness that there was no cure for. So it was like she found me and helped me through so much at the time and continues to this day. And I don't know where I would be without having found her work. And I try to think back to how I found her. And she just came at this time when I needed her the most. And so her work has been so impactful in my life and how I share it with my family and the people around me. And to this day, I still am learning and growing and using her work to evolve and just live a better life.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
I
and
had
that sounds so familiar, Amy, really, because I've talked to people who said, Louise's book literally fell off the shelf on their head or something when they're at a bookstore.
Yep.
Or, one woman I talked to said that she was going through a lot and a mentor of hers just brought her Louise's book and said, you need to read this book. It's going to help you. So what we know is that when the student is ready, the teacher appears, right? And so when your heart really is open to, I need help, it shows up. And so that's something that we can just tell everyone, is that all you have to be is open to needing help. And it could be Louise's work, it could be someone else's, but our path is the Heal Your Life philosophy because it is so powerful for us. Okay, let me just say too, that just the feedback that we get from the workshop leaders and coaches worldwide, and this is about after you finish the training and you're leading workshops, you're coaching with people, and they just tell us that it's the most gratifying work in the entire world. It's the most amazing thing they've ever done to really be able to guide people through their journey with Louise's work, whether it's an online workshop or the 2-day Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop. But that it's just phenomenal how people can change. And, you're all talking about that really very specifically. Is that it just gives you a whole new viewpoint of what life is all about and how to make those changes. So I'm going to go back to Victoria and just say, when you got back from the Heal Your Life workshop leader training in 2012, you immediately started teaching the 2-day workshop, didn't you?
Yes, yes. I had it scheduled and was blessed enough to be able to, I believe it was the next weekend, do my first 2-day. And it's what you were saying, Patricia, where we are in this beautiful place where we get to witness transformation in others. And one would think that it would be exhausting to be running these events and so on, but it's so exhilarating because we really do get to be facilitators of change and helping people to heal their lives. And moving forward from there, just holding regular workshops, coaching. We're so blessed now with having the opportunity to be able to do that worldwide. And I'm sure you found this, that there's certain people that you resonate with and that you feel that you learn better from. And it's wonderful that people have choices and all of these different opportunities worldwide for going to workshops, for being coached. And I'm just so happy to be part of the Heal Your Life Worldwide family.
Great. And would you go ahead and just put your phone number on the chat and your email so people can contact you, just directly afterwards? And you're going to talk about, she's going to talk more about the specifics of what the week entails, what you actually go through during the week, and also the costs and things like that as we get a little further into the program. Okay. So Amy, how about back to you just leading your own workshops, in addition to you just assisted Victoria at the training, and I know you saw some amazing transformation there. But what's it like leading your own workshops?
Well, it's just so rewarding. And I love that it can be incorporated in so many other modalities, but leading the workshops is rewarding, and just being able to share this work with others and see the transformations firsthand. The coaching is really incredible, being able to do this work one-on-one. It just, there's a lot of coaching out there, but I love the twist of adding Louise's work into the coaching. So it's just an incredible experience.
And I will say that we've had many people who come to the Heal Your Life coaching who've done other coaching programs. In fact, I'm thinking of one woman who said she had done 3 other coach trainings, and Heal Your Life by far was the most powerful one that she had gone to. And so, we really encourage people in terms of, adding that piece to the program. And of course, when Victoria is doing it, she's doing the combination. We initially started out just with the workshop leader training because that was what Louise had done with the 2-day workshop. And then in 2008, it was just really clear that, coaching was becoming a real professional aspect, and that we really needed to add that in. So that has been, and some of the trainers worldwide are doing those 2 separately, and Victoria is doing them together. So one question we get is, well, how can you teach people to coach in such a short period of time? Well, here's a real reason for that. Number one, when people come to the initial training, first of all, I'm going to ask you to talk about the pre-work, Victoria, in a moment that you do. But we ask that people come to the training. They already know Louise's work. They're familiar with it. They're using the techniques in their own life, and they're passionate about sharing it with others. And so we don't accept people to come into the program who don't know Louise's work, first of all. And I've had people call me and say, oh my gosh, I just found this book last week or last month, and it's so fabulous. And I heard you have a training. And I have to say, you know what? You need to give it 6 months to a year where you're actually reading and doing all the exercises in the book and getting really familiar with Louise's work. So that's a part of it, is that, we have that familiarity. So people are already using the change techniques in their own life. And then with the program, the way that Victoria is doing it, she does some pre-work. And of course, we do a lot of after work too, because we are really, really committed to sharing Louise's work. So you don't get waved goodbye at the end of the training and say, bye, have a nice life, which I know has happened in some programs, but we do a lot of follow-up. So Victoria, how about just tell us about the pre-work, and then I guess if you want to go into more of the program and just what it entails when they get in person, you could do that too.
Okay, I will do that. So, as Patricia was saying, people come in with a certain level of understanding. There's been a couple of people who've done some one-on-one coaching prior to, because they wanted to make sure that they went in fully equipped.
Mhm.
And it's interesting because it doesn't matter how fully equipped we are, there's always more room to grow, more room to learn, and more room to heal in our lives. And that was just very evident to us. We just a few days ago, Amy and I finished a training in Banff, and everyone there had lots of spiritual growth and personal development under their belt, and lots of training with people whose names are household names. And they had that wonderful deep healing. And as Patricia was saying, found that the training was like nothing they had ever experienced. So prior to coming, I do 3 structured Zoom meetings with the group. And in those meetings, we cover a lot actually about coaching and what exactly a Heal Your Life coach is and what a Heal Your Life workshop teacher is. And then also as a gift, I sign all of the participants, the trainees, up for what we call the learning portal. And that is something that we are able to share in our Heal Your Life world. And we work through the 5 lessons of that, the 5 weeks of that, as well as making sure that we're very familiar with the Heal Your Life workbook. So through these meetings, we have furthered our knowledge, we have brought things back into our awareness, and we have bonded as a group. So when we start at Opening Circle, we are not starting at just the getting to know you, getting our feet wet stage. We dive into the deep end because we're ready for that. And everyone is guided through their own process and at their own rate. And we make sure that we're nurturing and loving and supporting people through that. However, I do want you to know this as an opportunity to go deep into your own self, as well as learning to do the same thing for others. So as I was saying, we have that Opening Circle, and it will be on April 23rd at 4 p.m. for those of you who are flying in on that same day. And we do our Opening Circle, and we set intentions, and we learn really what we want to be getting from the training. And then we have dinner together as a chance to really get to know each other. We move in the next 2 days, a 2-day Love Yourself, Heal Your Life workshop, where you take your trainee hat off and you put on your workshop participant hat. And for those 2 days, you're experiencing what you will be teaching to others. And this is always just an incredible time of growth. And every 2-day workshop is so unique. This last one that just passed, it was interesting because a lot of the people there really wanted to work on grief and forgiveness. And so those pieces fit beautifully into Louise's work. And so we had a really wonderful time of transformation for those 2 days. And then we moved from there into reviewing the manual, learning how to work with the manual, learning how to work with each of the 10 weeks available for the 10-week study course that can be done either in person or online. And we move into coaching, where you're getting lots of practice as both the coach and the coachee. So you're learning different styles, you're learning different facets of the Heal Your Life work. So whether, as Christy mentioned, relationships, more other people are more centered around health or prosperity, wherever it might be that your clients are needing support, you will be taught how to work with them. And we wrap things up at the end of the 10 days. So in this particular case, it'll be on May 2nd with an evening closing circle, graduation, and dinner together. And then as a final little bonus, my treat is breakfast the next morning for those who are still at the hotel and haven't had to go to the airport or anything like that. And we just have this beautiful informal time of sharing and saying our see you soons to everyone that's there.
No, that's great. Thank you. Thanks so much for that beautiful overview. I do actually want to talk a little more about the learning portal, which we also call the Heal Your Life journey, because this is something that actually just became really important for us during the time that we were not training in person specifically. And our trainers in India, one of whom, Shashank Gupta, is very good with all the technology. They had come together with saying we needed something to be online, and they had actually developed it along with myself and my husband participating with them. But it became just especially important during that time when, we were shifting into the other workshops besides that. And Christy, you actually do a lot with the Learning Portal as well, because that's part of just our relicensing process. So do you want to talk a little about your experience just guiding the people with the Learning Portal, also called the Heal Your Life Journey? And it's really a powerful process.
It really is a powerful process. We've had we had quite a few requests from our teachers for a while, asking for a way for their students to learn in their own time in an online way. And this is our answer to that. It goes through 5 different sessions. It has meditations, it has diary entries. It is just it's a wonderful introduction. It's a wonderful accompaniment to other workshops. And it's one where your participants can work on their own, and then they come back and they discuss with you what they've learned about themselves, what the session has taught them, and whether they're dealing with prosperity or loving their body. They get to go through this, and then they get to come back and share with the workshop leader. So it really is a powerful tool, especially for people who are maybe feeling a little uncomfortable about doing a whole workshop in front of others. Some people can feel very shy about that. This allows them to go through some of the process without having, privately. And then they often feel much, much more comfortable than sharing because it's opened them up so much. And it's also a fantastic way to get people then to come on to further workshops of yours that are going to go deeper into these different processes.
Yeah.
So really, it's just a fantastic tool for our teachers.
Oh, that's great. Thank you, Christy. And the foundation of Louise's work is, of course, learning to love and accept yourself exactly the way you are. And our song that we have that's I love myself the way I am is I love myself the way I am. There's nothing I need to change. That's in the first stanza. Then you go on to loving other people. Then you go on to loving the world. And the fourth stanza comes back to yourself saying, I love myself the way I am, and still I want to grow. And so sometimes people think, well, gee, if I love myself, I'm just not going to be motivated to change or do anything. And the opposite is absolutely true, that when you love yourself, you can more easily change in the ways that you want to. And so I'm going to go back to Amy, and you talked about how you found Louise's work found you when your dad was ill. So is there one area in your life, career, relationships, health, prosperity, or loving yourself? Is there one area where you felt like it was the most profound for you as you went on with learning Louise's work?
Definitely the loving yourself piece. I think that was something I really needed to work on to help me move forward into the other pieces, because they all, once you do one, they lead into the other.
Right.
Yes, for me, it was really learning to love myself, and then learning to love other people in the process. So.
And that concept now has gone mainstream, but when I started with Louise many years ago, not only was it kind of an odd thing and you were being selfish and stuff like that, I'm sure you've all heard that, but also just to find Louise's book, you had to go back in the dark corner of the bookstore, and the self-help section was about this big. And now it's just mainstream, and there's so much in terms of self-help, and all the concepts are becoming so wonderful. It's really great. Another thing that's really wonderful about this work and about Louise's work is that her book's been translated into like 35 languages and sold over 55 million copies. So it's just so accessible for basically about every culture and every, ethnic group. And it's just amazing how everybody has to come back to that whole aspect of loving yourself. And Victoria, I know your trainings are international. So, just talk a little bit about the people that get attracted, not just because you're in Canada, but they come from other countries. So that's an extra perk in these trainings, that they're always internationally based, and, people coming from different cultures to get together and find out, hey, we do have so many similarities,
That was something that I really learned when I took my training with you, Patricia, back in 2012. I believe there was 9 different countries. And I remember for one exercise, we were to pair up with someone we thought was different than us. And so I paired up with a gentleman from Singapore, and he could not have been more the same. And it was just such a great lesson for me. And yes, we do hold very international trainings. Two trainings ago, I think it was 8 countries. This last training, 2 countries. I'm so proud to always have Indigenous people represented at the trainings. And in this training coming up, I think we're at 4 countries already.
Wow.
So we're about 50% full for the April training. And I'm just so grateful to have people from around the world coming together and loving and supporting and creating this worldwide community together. And you're absolutely right. We do learn from each other. We do teach each other. And in our heart of hearts, for all of us, it's really about learning to love ourselves more.
Yeah.
And if you're nervous about the coaching aspect and, how am I going to coach someone? Remember that for all of our clients, really what we're teaching them is how to love themselves more.
Right.
And then all of those other pieces really fall into place.
Absolutely. And I know exactly who you're talking about from that 2012 training. And he and his wife are now trainers in Singapore. And it just occurred to me, Victoria, that actually that training you were in is so amazing, because you're a trainer, they're trainers, and so are 2 from India who came to that one. They're also trainers. So that was quite a transformational group. It's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. So also that we want to talk about the practical aspects as well. And so if you want to go ahead and talk about the cost, and I think you have a discount going on right now. So tell us a little bit about that.
Sure, I absolutely will. So the training does include your accommodation. And so from April 23rd, you'll check in, and on May 3rd, you'll check out. And of the hotel, it is single room accommodation. It is a retreat setting, just a few minutes outside of Banff, and the hotel does offer a free shuttle. And if their shuttle is not available, they give taxi vouchers, which is amazing. It also includes coffee breaks and snacks twice a day, and all of your lunches. And the food was absolutely fantastic. This is at the Juniper Hotel. And 2 dinners, of course. So the price with the discount is 6,297 Canadian dollars. And so that's a discount of $700. It's regular 6,997 for a standard room, but with that $700 discount, that takes you down to 6,297 Canadian. And I'm going to keep that running until the end of November. And I will, after that point, have some sort of discount, but I haven't done the math yet to figure out what it'll be. But that $700 is the highest discount I have ever offered.
That's really good. Yeah.
Yes. And I just, want to also say that over the years, I've been able to compile some information, and Amy was so kind as to put it all together in a beautiful workbook for us. So not only are you getting the Heal Your Life training manual for workshop teachers, you're also getting the Heal Your Life coach manual. And now, as of this last training that just passed, another 150-page manual that has exercises from the other 2 manuals. It also has exercises from the Heal Your Life workbook from Louise. And it has some of my favorite tools, as well as tools that I've created in there that all tie into the Heal Your Life work, all in one place. Amy has put in all of the flyers that you can use for marketing. Everything is there. Everything has a table of contents, and it is super fabulous. And that, again, is my free gift to you. And we are so happy to be able to offer that to you, to take you through the training in a way that follows everything that you need and having it all together. So when you go home, you're not looking for this and you're not looking for that. You've got everything you need right at your fingertips. And there is absolutely no reason why you can't start leading workshops and start coaching the day after you get home.
Right.
The day of, you can rest.
Please do. Please do.
But
Absolutely.
if you choose to start the next day, everything is there for you and organized and complete. I also offer the opportunity for you to be on my podcast, the Heal Your Life Talk radio show, to promote yourself and your work. One thing I didn't mention when I was doing the recap for you of the 10 days is that we do spend a half a day working on something called personality dimensions, where you learn more about your language of communication and how to communicate more effectively with others. And this is really helpful in both workshops and with coaching, because once we learn how the other person communicates, we know how we can reach them best, and how we can use our own communication style as a basis, but then changing our language into something that supports our client and our workshop participants the most and makes them feel the most comfortable. We also do 3 structured calls after the training that are 2 hours long each. And so the first hour of those structured calls is marketing for people who want to do a dive deep into marketing. And for each training, it's fresh and new and current. I go in and I do all the research before each one, because as you know, things are changing fast in the marketing world. Yes. And then the second hour of each of those trainings is following up with anything that you wanted to learn more about at the training. So on the final day, I give you a questionnaire, and in that questionnaire, you write anything that you would like to learn more about, and we cover that post-training. And then we have monthly calls where we get together, and they are not structured. We are instead sharing tools and supporting each other, as well as quarterly mastermind groups that are available to everyone that has trained with me or everyone that is in Canada as a Heal Your Life workshop teacher and coach. And we have had remarkable relationships built from that as well. The work really is timeless. And so if something that is in your mind right now is wondering how much of a demand there is for Louise Hay's work, just really think about it this way. It is the foundation for everything that we do. And all of these little niches that go off in different directions are wonderful as well. But it all comes back to the Heal Your Life work and loving yourself. And I know, Patricia, Christy, maybe you can help me out with this, Amy. I know that, like, the New York Times, for example, dubbed Louise as was it the grandmother of the New Age movement? You know, she was really at the forefront of all of this. And it's just really all about learning how to help ourselves and learning how to help others, and being able to do that as a career. Life is good.
Absolutely. And I just want to say too that we want to invite people to be on, like, your Facebook group. We have Heal Your Life Worldwide is our Facebook group. That's an open group that you can go and see what what the workshop leaders, coaches are doing. Some are posting their workshops on there that you can join, either in person or online. So there's that. We have an Instagram account, Heal Your Life Training. And then we also have a YouTube channel, and I know Victoria does as well. And ours is youtube.com/Heal Your Life Altogether. And we have a lot of Louise's audios on there, plus this webinar will be on there as well, and other things by Victoria that are on there. So we invite you to just, get a little deeper with all the information with the resources that we have online, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. All 3 of them are great. Yeah. Okay. And did either of you, Christy or Amy, want to add anything to what Victoria was saying?
No, I think she covered it really beautifully.
Okay.
I would like to jump in with one more thing, if I can, Patricia.
Yeah, sure.
A question that I get once in a while is, to back that up, in the past, I used to do a week of the workshop leader training and a week of the coach training, and I did them back to back.
Right.
And so you're with me for 2 weeks. And so sometimes people will say to me, am I getting a condensed version? in the 10 days? Like, am I going to get everything I need? And the answer is absolutely yes. There's nothing condensed about it. There was areas that were repeating, such as opening circle, closing circle, or maybe a couple of different activities. So once those were removed, we were able to structure that 10 days, and you are absolutely getting all of the material and more in that time and leaving with that double certification.
Great, thank you. And I also will say, when you're talking about the manuals and all the what they get to take home with them, is that we get rave reviews about the manuals and all the materials, that everything is just laid out for you. And so, you're not reinventing the wheel. You actually leave with the materials that you can then use, as Victoria was saying, even the next day. Although we would suggest you take a few days off when you
I
get
actually
back.
will step in for a second and
Yeah.
say, Patricia, and I will say we've just spent time and money and effort creating a new website for our teachers. And all of your materials are now in your profile on the website. You have easy access to that, as well as your licensing certificate. You have this fantastic learning management system built into your profile, so that all of that information is at the touch of your fingers as soon as you log in.
Wow.
So if you want to see the website, it's healyourlifeworkshops.com or healyourlifeworkshops.com. Christy, you can put that in the chat too. And also Victoria's, if it's not in there already. But yeah, this new website is just wonderful. We're getting lots of great rave reviews about it. And you can go on there and search your location and see if there's a Heal Your Life teacher in your location. Okay. So one other topic I want to go into is about our licensing program. And, when Louise first approved the training, it was with a hug and a handshake. And that was fine. That was the way business was going, especially with Hay House and what Louise was doing at the time. But as time went on and business was changing, things were coming along more on the internet, etc. Also, Hay House created a movie, You Can Heal Your Life, the movie. If you haven't seen that, we would definitely recommend it. You can get it on hayhouse.com. But it became more important to have something more formal in terms of our agreement. And the Hay House lawyer who was working on trademarks called my husband and I and said, or probably was an email and then a call, but said, we are having a trademark now for Heal Your Life and You Can Heal Your Life. And we wanted to invite you into a licensing program if you're interested in that. And of course, we said, absolutely. So the licensing is given a whole nother level of professionalism to the program. So you do get a certificate at the end of the program, but you're also required to complete the license. And the license basically outlines for you about the use of the materials, the trademarks, just everything connected for you with the Heal Your Life work. And there is a cost to that. We have a special agreement with Hay House. That's the master agreement. And then Victoria leads you through the agreement that you get to use all the materials and the trademark, etc. And so that particular part of it is $99 a year. And then for the US and for Canada, Hay House required that we get a group insurance policy, and that's $150 a year. Now, that actually is a great deal, because we had people paying up to $350 a year for insurance after that. So that's our official part that we had to agree with Hay House. Some of the other countries, major countries like the UK and Ireland and Australia, they have their own programs that they do, because we can't cover those. But that comes along, and Victoria tells you all about that at the training and something beforehand as well. But it is a required part of the program for you to actually complete everything. Again, it's really added a whole nother level of professionalism, and also given us the opportunity to be the ones who get to use the trademark. So that's been pretty exciting. Christy is in charge of a lot of the work related to the licensing as our admin. And so she knows all about that, right?
I do. Yes. Yes. And it really does. What's great is it is international. So there's a lot of licenses that, yes, I'm managing, because it is, in 72 countries. And it leads to our professionalism, because it's, we have a large group of us out there who are licensed under this moniker, and it helps your credentials in showing people that you have done this work.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so it's a good thing. It's a very good
Yes.
thing.
And not only can you teach, internationally over the internet or Instagram, but you can go to any other country you want and your license covers you in any other country because, we have become such an international society, really. We have lots of people in the US who have roots in other countries and can travel there for their friends and family. So you can go anywhere to lead the work that you would like to. Your license covers you internationally.
Yeah, and we've had people do that, lead their retreats in really beautiful, magical, international places, and they have been very successful at creating those magical and unique retreats
Yeah.
using the Heal Your Life materials.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Well, we're going to close now unless there's any questions on the chat for us at this point. And we probably answered just about everything, I think. So I'll just start with Amy. Amy, anything you'd like to say in terms of closing, final words, etc., for this webinar?
Well, I just to say that Banff is a beautiful place to do this work. And so if anyone's questioning whether or not it's a beautiful place to do this work, it is.
Yeah.
And Victoria is by far like just a really amazing facilitator.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know
Love it.
that. And it's wonderful to have it in Banff because the being in nature like that just is an extra nurturing of your soul. It really is as you're going through all the, shifts that you're going through mentally and emotionally too. Christy?
I would just say that if you are thinking about this at all and you have any questions or concerns, make sure to reach out to Victoria. She will be able to answer those questions for you, and she will be able to hold your hand and really help you find your way, find your path, find yourself on this journey.
Great, thanks. Victoria?
Well, I'll build on to what Christy said. Yes, absolutely. I'm happy to do a one-on-one Zoom with you or phone call, whatever is best for you to answer any other questions that might be specific for you or maybe something that we didn't cover. And just having come out of a training, I can tell you that there's so much love in that room and so much safety. And, we come home and we bring that with us. And one of the ladies at our closing circle gifted everyone with a small pair of moccasins that she had made. And they were to remind us, with the two little feet, that wherever we go, we're still together. We've got that piece together. And the connections that you build with people who are like-minded, the trust, the level of love and support is really, in my opinion, second to none. And it doesn't matter where in the world you are, you're never alone in this work. And I'm just happy to welcome you. As Amy said, Banff is absolutely spectacular. As Patricia said, another layer of healing being in nature. And in this beautiful retreat setting, it's just everything together. And you'll be so glad that you joined us.
Yeah, I've been to Banff twice with you, and oh my goodness, it's beautiful. Now, Louise talks about, if you've read her book, she talks about her inner ding, and that is her inner guidance, her divine connection with divine wisdom. So if your inner ding is telling you to take this training, we really encourage you to just go ahead and do that, because you will absolutely be thrilled with the results. We know that. So thank you, Victoria, Amy, and Christy, for being on as panelists. And thank you all for listening right now or afterwards when we post this on YouTube. We love you, and we really support you in going forward with Louise's work and being part of our Heal Your Life family. Okay, Take care.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.